Hello there, fellow grognards. It's Al here, back with CHEBS, and that means that I've got Matt. Hello, Matt.
Hello.
Hello. And yeah, we were just discussing this cool article with the Land Raider. Original Land Raider artwork there from the box, back when they released it. And this is when I started working for the company, like 25 years ago. Back then, it was just like, oh man, that's an amazing kit. And the deal they were doing, believe it or not, was buy two, get a third free. And
Land Raiders, especially back then. That's kind of mad, but I appreciate the offer.
well, exactly. You can't look a Land Raider in the mouth. Yeah, that was a good deal because it was one hell of a kit, even back then. I think they have made a couple of little changes to it since then, but it's largely the same. Obviously, you got the Crusader version, which was metal first of all, and that sucked. Having six little metal bolt guns either side of it.
Either side. Yeah, Black Templars.
Bollocks to that. The Redeemer didn't exist back then, so they added that on later. But yeah, the Venerable Land Raider, Jez Goodwin special, has done quite well.
I don't think it was. Where does it say? It said it was.
This one, the new one was made by Jez, wasn't it?
The new one was, I think.
Yeah. The old one was made by Dave Andrews.
That's it. Scratch built, apparently.
Dave Andrews, who until last year, I don't know about now, but I'm pretty sure he was still working for the company.
Jeez, really?
Yeah, Dave Andrews. Yeah, because he did all the scenery. Well, was doing very recently all the scenery and stuff. I don't think we'll see a new one necessarily, because obviously it's all bloody Primaris now, and Primaris can't even go into Land Raider because they're just not good enough for it. Yeah, it's a really cool little article. You've got obviously your initial appearance in Rogue Trader. You used to get two in a box for 20 quid, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they even mentioned that they weren't Space Marine specific back then.
No, Squat's taken all sorts of stuff. And
Orcs and Harlequins, it's like, really?
I don't remember. I remember being looted by Orcs. I do not remember older Harlequins. That seems like a little bit of a stretch. But I do remember. I remember the Squat Land Raiders. I do remember those.
I think they actually showed quite a lot of Imperial tech back then, didn't they?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Because they were mainly bolt gun based.
Exactly, yeah. A lot less variety of model kits. So, yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, it went away. The Mark 1 went away, and we got it back in Epic 40,000.
Yeah, the Mark 2B.
Which was nice. And I've still got a couple of those knocking about somewhere, I think.
Nice. I've still got the Mark 1 in Epic from 2nd edition Space Marine.
I think I've
actually up the shelf behind me.
I've got one of those somewhere as well. I can't be sure.
With my 12-year-old me paint job.
Classic.
Still dark green though. Dark Angel's green.
And then then we got the Land Raider, and I remember it coming with a really, really, really cool poster, which up until a while ago I had. It was like a cutaway thing.
Yeah, I was about to say a technical diagram. I remember it.
They did one with a Predator as well. I wish I'd redo
an article like this for a Predator, because I've still got my plastic Predator.
Yeah. Well, that's had like 3 different versions as well, technically, hasn't it? Because you had the all plastic one with the round top, then you had the metal and plastic hybrid, and then you had the plastic kit.
Yeah, the recent one. Not counting the Castigator that the lady's got.
Yeah, not counting the stupid Castigator that can't turn its turret.
Well, it's starting.
Yeah, it had a really cool little piece of fluff and everything. I remember this when this came out. These were like they weren't the 2nd edition, it was mid-3rd edition, but these are still like the glory days for me. Like, it's just when it really seemed to just work. Everything seemed to work with Warhammer. And 3rd edition was a big departure from 2nd edition, but it didn't feel like they were dumbing down the game at any particular stage or anything like that.
Yeah, 2nd edition was still very much kind of skirmish level, but kind of with a bit more of a focus on characters, if I remember rightly. Yeah,
it was Hero Hammer. You had special characters, and then you bought war gear cards for them, so you'd have like a stack of cards, and you give the cards to your characters, and also you give cards to your psychers for like psychic powers and stuff. And your typical army would run about like a couple of squads, tank, and a couple of heroes kind of thing. It wasn't a big game because it's just too cumbersome to play in that. And we're going to get into 2nd edition in a very big way in the next couple of months because we've got it all, and I want to go through it, all the codexes and everything, because it's probably still, and again, maybe through rose-tinted glasses, but it's still probably my favourite edition because it's just so mental and mad and just off the wall.
Remember it. second edition, I kind of went from Rogue Trader to a couple of games of second, a very few handfuls of third, and then was basically, I think I was on a break from Games Workshop stuff because all my local players went off to uni because they're all older than me at the time.
Yeah.
So I just ended up kind of like getting White Dwarf ordered from my local newsagents every month, and then basically fell back into Warhammer 40k properly when I met Mike.
Okay.
Properly. Because we got talking about hobbies and stuff, and he said, "Oh yeah, I do 40k," and I was like, "Oh shit, I used to do that. I've still got all my stuff. I've kind of kept in touch and it kept tabs on it all." And yeah, found out we were both Tyranny players, and kind of I picked it back up like towards the middle of fifth.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, I did nearly exactly the same. So I played loads of second. Second was my heyday. Love second. I was working at Warhammer, working at Games Workshop for all of third. So the entire third edition, I was basically working at Games Workshop. And then I quit Games Workshop and missed fourth. Just completely missed fourth. And then got back into it, probably around about fifth, I think. And then played quite a bit of sixth and seventh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I missed most of the spec games heyday. So I never played like the original Necromunda or Mordheim or Blood Bowl.
So that'd be late 90s, basically.
Yeah. So that's about right because I was at college then. I don't have any of the attachment to those older games that other people in our gaming group have.
You missed some fine games in that case, to be honest.
Looks it, but at the time I was nightclubbing and looking at what I thought was some fine ladies instead.
Indeed, yeah. So I think everybody, and sound off like in the chat, guys, but I think everybody just gets to that stage where they just discover like booze and women, and they're like, well, I can't do the geeky stuff because they're not going to be into that. And then it's like much later in life that you just realise, you know what, I can have both. if I'm smart about it and don't go sort of too overboard, I can have both. It's fine.
Yeah. This is my hobby cupboard. You'll notice that it's padlocked. It never opens when the girls are here. But speaking of embarrassing yourself in front of ladies, this is a very minor segue. We didn't get any tea bags today, and I'm saving the last 3 tea bags for the wife for tomorrow because she's at home looking after the child for the week, and I'm going to be in the office tomorrow, plundering their tea bags instead. So at the moment, I'm drinking what I suspect is quite out of date Maltesers hot drink. So if I shit my pants and die, then you know why. But hopefully it won't go up to that.
If you hear a bit of a scream and a bit of a squelch, then that's Matt succumbing to the.
Just a loud fart and a sob, and then followed by a croak, and then that'll be it. I'll have been released from this miserable life. It's not that miserable. It's all right.
Maltesers is the lighter way to enjoy chocolate and then die from fucking dysentery.
Yeah, I mean, I already necked a coffee, and I was kind of like, nah, let's give this Maltesers thing a go. It's been in the cupboard for bloody ages. The child didn't like it.
I miss Maltesers. I've not been able to eat Maltesers for about 7-8 years now.
No, they're horrible.
Stupid fucking wheat and barley in them. We've got a few cool bits in the Land Raiders. It's a shame they didn't put the the really nice Ultramarines they did for Minus Colgar. They sort of doled it up and everything and did loads of freehand and stuff. It's a shame that's not in here.
They tricked it out somewhat.
Yeah, exactly. They pimped it. It was his pimp ride.
Yeah, the second selection of Land Raiders down from Forge World, I recognise the first one with the launcher on top. I don't recognise the other two. There's a Brazen Balls one with what looks like twin-linked multi-melters on either side. And no. Isn't that the Achilles?
It's the Achilles.
The Thunderfire cannon on the front.
Yeah, it is. It's the Achilles. Yeah.
What a fucking weird pairing. A Thunderfire cannon.
And some multi-melters.
Multi-melters. What are you doing with that? Are you getting up in people's faces, or are you hanging back and shelling things?
Not a lot. That's what you're doing with that. Not a lot.
Jesus. And the Blood Angels one I don't recognise at all, with like the quad heavy bolters on the sponsons and nothing on the front.
Yeah, because it's not even a Crusader, is it? Because Crusader's got 6.
It's a rare time that I look.
It's not the Helios because the Helios. It's got to be the Prometheus, hasn't it? Because they mentioned them here: the Helios, the Achilles, and the Prometheus.
The Helios is the first one with the launcher.
With the launcher, yeah, exactly. So it's got to be the Prometheus, but I can't think what makes it a Prometheus.
It must have been. Like,
when you think of Prometheus, you think of Emperor Fire, don't you? There's nothing fire about that at all.
When Portugal did this one, I don't know what I was doing.
It's like we literally just took a dart and threw it at the board, and it landed on Prometheus. It was like, yeah, it's called Prometheus. Fuck it.
Yeah, that'll do. But and it goes on to the Horus Heresy pattern that they released a few years back.
Yeah.
And it mentions the Land Raider estate as well.
I think I've got a Proteus somewhere. I got it in a sale. I say a sale. It was like Element Games were knocking some extra stock off for 30% off. I was like, 30%? Yes, have some of that. Yeah. So I think I've got a Proteus.
I've got one built and basically painted. But I think I've got a second one boxed from when I thought we were going to have much grander plans and much more games. But then Wayland closed their fucking gaming area and we can't really play anywhere.
And then I got I got obviously a Spartan with Age of Darkness.
Yeah, we all did. Yeah, venerable Land Raider estate or station wagon.
Station wagon, yeah. As you know, I had fun painting that model. Actually, I thought it was really, really, really nice. It was very interesting to see that it's basically a Proteus, but with an extra bit in the middle. You take that out and it shuts it down to make this. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that makes me sad a little bit. Underneath that, it says, "Is it a Land Raider?" No, but it certainly looks like one. And I'm like, fuck off, that is a Land Raider, really, isn't it? It's just longer, so you can fit more dudes in it with bigger guns on the side.
I'd say it's a Land Raider.
Yeah.
Guns at the front, doors at the back, door in the front. That's a Land Raider.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, it's got the guns moved in front of the side doors, which to me doesn't look as cool, but it
makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, we don't want to put less cannon rounds through your dudes as they come out of the hatch in a hurry.
Especially with the Redeemer, because obviously the Redeemer's the whole idea is to sort of like charge forward, toast the front lines, and then disgorge all your guys. And you guys get out of the doors.
Yeah, I think the Redeemer was actually it was the first one that I saw that had the weapons mounted in front of the side hatches instead of behind. It
doesn't look as cool as you say, but it makes a lot more sense. A lot more sense.
No, it does.
So that was quite nice. A nice little article. We'll have some more of that, please, GW, because we're grognards and grumpy, and we think the old stuff's better than the new stuff because it is. Thanks. So then we got some Golden Demon finalists. I thought we'd have a quick look at.
Well, I better look at that. I ain't seen painting stuff. It tends to just make me want to cry and snap my brushes in half. So it
does when they're younger than me. That's what upsets me. When I see the young bloods, and I'm like, oh, Christ.
Most of them are younger than us.
I suck. So, shut up. It is true.
Don't mention the numbers.
Yeah.
I still look cool.
Yeah, I like these two. So you've got Alessandro Marinoni. Marinoni. And that's cool. It's like a little wizard dude. I think, if I remember correctly, wasn't he the Empire wizard release?
Asking the wrong person, buddy.
For the Old World. I think. I don't know if he's done a lot of conversion to it, but I'm pretty sure that's what that was. I remember saying that I thought it looked a bit cartoony. But then this dwarf's really nice as well. It's really nicely painted.
It reminds me of the chieftain from Asterix.
Yes, yeah. Oh God, I can't remember his name now. Is it?
Was it
Getafix? Something like that. Yeah.
Asterix Obelix. Getafix. What was their druid called?
I can't remember.
Man,
it's been a while.
Oh no! Getafix, I think, was the druid. The chieftain was Vital Statistics.
Okay.
Which is great.
That is awesome. As is this. It's very nicely painted. Chaos Dwarfs are as well. A little bit of Chaos Dwarfs. Very nicely done. It's nice to see a little bit of variation between the painting styles as well, because there is something that I call the Golden Demon style, which just wins everything. Do you know what I mean? Every single time you see that, it's just, yeah, it's of that style that the judges really like. It's nice to see a couple of little differences here. I think, a few different blends and stuff. So this Ongrim, is it Ongrim? The Slayer? I can't remember his name. I think it's Ongrim. It's really nicely done. Nice dark armour type thing. That one looks cool. Tom Carpe.
I'm trying to work out what that middle figure is.
What, the Sister Battle?
Oh, is it? I can't.
Or maybe it could be an Inquisitor. I think it's based on a Sister of Battle. It's meant to be an Inquisitor, I think.
I think it's supposed to be an Inquisitor.
Yeah. But I like the difference in the scales there. It's really nice. It's really nicely done. Brood Brother having a very bad time on the floor.
Yeah, he's a goner.
But yeah, it's good work there, I've got to say. And then Jon Snow, who knows nothing.
Knows how to paint, apparently.
Yeah, it does. Did this really nice. Let's move that across. I'm not sure it's a duel. It's just a little gobbo running away from a Gryph-hound, but it's quite nicely done. Nice use of colour there. And this is nice as well. I really like this.
Those are nice. The shading is awesome.
Jacob Henderson. It reminds me of V Rising.
Yes. Yeah,
The wallpaper and everything.
Yeah.
But
kind of gothic-y, sort of not quite Victorian sort of style.
Yeah. But that's really, I really like that Galen Van Dent, I think his name is, the Witch Hunter. Really nice model. And then you've got the vampire from, oh God, what's it called? Underworld. It's from the Court, the Crimson Court.
That's the one.
Yeah, so it's really nicely done that. I think that's a really good job. And these are just finalists. These didn't win. Then we've got a War Boss by Sam Brown, who is a young blood and therefore 15 or under.
Right.
And that's nicely done. Very nicely done there indeed. And then this is the other one though. This is also young blood, so 15 or under. Look at that. He's not only gone for new non-metal metal. He's also on top of that done the OSL really nicely.
Shaded it and put in resin water as well. I'm just like,
Do you know, just totally take the piss. So
I was about to say, what have I done with my life? But then just hasn't really even had a life. He's like, what, under 15?
Exactly. He's a third of our age.
Yeah. Dude, like, look, if you're just sitting at home painting all the time and you're not going out and getting drunk and women, it doesn't matter. Just carry on doing that.
Yeah, that's it, man. Exactly.
The right ones will come to you if you can paint really well.
Keep honing your skills, man. Keep honing your skills. And then these are really nice. These are squats, or you know, yeah. David Roberts painted those. They're really good. And then this is just like mind blowing. But that's that Katarzyna Gorska who does that purple underpainting I was talking about.
Okay, yeah.
And just does amazing things with colours.
Yeah.
And that's just really, really nicely done as well, I thought. So, yeah, I thought we'd have a quick look at those because, you know, well, why not, basically. And then our Sunday preview was basically the rest of the High Elves, which are nice to see. Finally got round to the rest of them.
No, not them.
And your Necromunda stuff. Trollolo. I know what you're talking about.
Get on with it.
Which is, Necromunda stuff's just all really, really cool. Really cool. Yeah. And then that was it. So, that was a bit of a shame. Teeny tanks.
I tell you, I went up against Marines with Dark Mech constructs in support last week or the week before with my Mechanicum. First time I used my Mechanicum in Heresy. Heresy? Legion Imperialis, finally. And I definitely felt the lack of dedicated anti-tank.
Oh, really?
Because there was no armour to bring.
We just needed to wait a couple of weeks, that's all it was, because now there's plenty.
Well, yeah, innit? I mean, I've got all the knights and stuff already, or like in resin, so I'm not too fussed.
It's a shame the knights aren't coming in a box to save you a bit of cash. You get them all separately, but you know,
to get them all together.
And then some Horus Heresy stuff as well. So I really like that Raven Guard model. That's really nice, I have to say.
Don't tell Carl it gets grumpy though. He doesn't like the artwork.
Artistic license, I suppose. It could look a lot worse.
It could. Why don't you give it
and you get
like the Blood Angel.
Fancy Blood Angel as well, yeah. So some good stuff coming our way. You know, it's all very nice. But on top of that, Matt, on Monday, which was today, we got shown a new Dreadnought. No, we didn't. We got shown a new drop pod.
Drop pod. I'm blaming Carl with his Dreadnought.
Yeah, that'll be it. It'd be from showing his Dorado. Dorado Dreadnought earlier. But yeah, we got a new drop pod showing off. And it comes in a box of 2.
Isn't it? What a time to be alive. 2 Dreadnoughts with open doors that don't close.
Now you've done it. 2 drop pods with open doors that don't close.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, hold on a minute. So these are, I mean, I appreciate getting 2 of them in a box. I dread to think how much it's going to be.
Because they're 35 quid each at the moment.
Just made them even harder to transport.
Yes, nigh on impossible to transport. And also, the footprint on the board might actually be a little bit reduced because these doors look shorter.
They do, don't they?
But nonetheless, like, unless there's a rule for shifting squads out of the way for landing, you're going to be able to zone these things out really easily because it's got a 9-inch deep strike.
Yeah, that's right.
So unless they change that somehow with the drop pod rules that are coming up, because apparently they are coming up.
Are they not in the codex at the moment?
Well, there's going to be new rules coming up. I don't know if they're in the codex at the moment. I don't have my hands on it.
I'm a little bit put out that they've taken out the Stormbolter. I know it's a small thing, but
Yep.
I'm kind of like, that should be there. Like,
And it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Again, clearing. You would think at the very least it would have frag launchers,
Yeah.
like to clear the space for when you jump out. But yeah, oh well. I mean, it's 50% the same kit because the side panels, these fin things, are identical. They're exactly the same. Yeah. So the only bit that's really changed is this chunk in the middle.
That's the point.
Which, you know.
I wonder if that'll include a Dreadnought variant as well, if that's even still a thing. It must be.
I don't know. I mean, Redemptors are massive. I don't know how big a drop pod would need to be to get one of those in it. I mean, as it is, these should be scaled for Primaris, and I'm pretty sure that unless they have scaled the kit up, and it doesn't look like they have, the Primaris can like take up nearly all this door. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But there's rumours of a new like Space Marine supplement coming out.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they're going to be in that, like a fast attack supplement of some description, because we saw in a rumour engine like the little turbines of a new something or other for Space Marines.
Yeah.
So yeah, there'll be stuff. There's always Space Marine stuff on the way.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that they expect these to be used for heresy as well.
Well, you can only think so because the old one was being sold as the Legion drop pod.
Yeah.
Because obviously Primaris can't ride in them.
Yeah, the heresy ones currently still have a Stormbolter.
Yes, exactly. So unless they're going to put... I can't imagine they're going to put those back into production. So yeah, it's all just a bit weird.
Yeah.
But the thing that made me laugh about this was like, this new kit is less pieces, significantly easier to build. Doors don't open, doors stay open all the time. And I was just thinking of the Legion Imperialis once, and I was like,
they don't.
Yeah, I know they do, but that's why they're so expensive because there's so many. Imagine if they could just get this and make this Legion Imperialis. It probably wouldn't cost 30 quid for 6 fucking drop pods or whatever it is.
4.
There you go, even worse.
25 quid for 4 tiny drop pods.
Yeah.
But they're in a lot of bits.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's over-engineered. So maybe they should have waited for this new one to come out that's apparently significantly less pieces.
I've still got some of the original drop pods that are just spheres.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the old metal ones. I've still got them knocking around somewhere.
Bloody hell.
For
Sounds
the
like the kind of thing you could
original-
stick in a sock and smack somebody with.
No. It was for the original Epic. So they were like the size of
Oh,
bottles.
right. Okay, for Epic. Okay, so just something you could put in your paint pot to mix the paint up then.
I wouldn't ever desecrate it in such a fashion.
But yeah, I mean, they showed this off, and as I say, they're always going to do new Space Marine stuff. But like you, I'm wondering on the price. If there's 2 in a box,
What, 50 quid at least?
minimum, it's got to be in it.
Yeah.
Which
Unless there's
it's cheaper than they're
one
doing at the
sprue.
moment. But
Yeah. Unless they're just 1 sprue each, maybe.
they're too big. It's got to be too big.
It's a lot of flat. Yeah, I don't know.
You're going to make me go on the fucking warhammerwalk.com website.
No,
now,
don't
aren't
do
you?
it. Don't put
Too
yourself
late.
through it, man.
We done it. I'm already there. Legion drop pod. Is it going to come up? No, of course it is because it's not in stock. And if it's not in stock, it doesn't fucking come up. Oh, there it is.
So quick to punish yourself.
I know. Right. I just want to see if I've got sprue pics. Right. So here's the sprue pics of the old one.
Such gappage.
Yeah. Well, it's quite an old sprue. I was saying in my video, I thought it was around about 2011.
No,
But it's actually
older than that.
2008.
Yeah.
So, it's like over 15 years old now. And some would say well past, being redone. So you've got these are your sprues. You've got this one. Then the next one, strange enough, is identical. So I don't know why they put both on there. So you've got 2 of the same because that's what, at the time, GW to save costs were making 2 identical sprues and then 1 different sprues. If you want to save money, then that's how you do it. So They must have recut it then.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, look at all the dead space on that sprue. They've definitely done away with all that.
So if they've kept this the same, but then
dead.
these are different, I don't know, man. It's still got to be at least 2 sprues per pod. You can't do it on 1 sprue.
I reckon it might be a sprue and a half per pod.
I don't think it can be, because you need to get 4 doors, the rubble, the base,
5 doors.
the top bit. Sorry, 5 doors. It's a pentapod, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can do it on 1.5 sprues. I mean, it's got to be 2 sprues per each. Because look, the doors. Then that. So if you say you need to get 5 of those and 5 of those.
Still a fair bit, and then 1 sprue or 2 bases. I mean,
Unless maybe, because the thing is here, each door is made up of 2 pieces.
Yeah,
so maybe they found a way to make the door 1 piece.
Yeah, and the base also, because you don't have to hinge the doors anymore. So you could just glue them in place without needing like pegs and whatnot. I don't know.
Well, we'll find out in time. But as you say, this one's pretty gappy and old, and it was a pain in the arse to put together. I remember putting them together, and it was a bit of a pain in the arse. But I don't know, it was always so cool landing and putting the doors out, you know.
Yeah. This one didn't quite open properly. Everyone out the other side.
Yeah, exactly. But what was a pain in the arse was putting the whole thing together and then painting all this bollocks afterwards. That sucked balls. So I'm kind of glad that it's changed in that way, because if you look, all of this is gone. It's now got this kind of just these things here in the doors.
Much more sparse.
Which I presume holds the whole thing up. That came out, and that's pretty much your GW news. So you said you played a game on Thursday, Legion Imperialis, yeah?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it missed the fact that they did, which was pretty good.
Yeah, let's talk about that, actually. So you've played some Legions Imperialis, obviously not loads, but definitely more than me, which is none. What would you have said before the FAQ? What would you have said were the main balance issues with the game that you would have liked to have seen get fixed with an update and an FAQ?
I don't think that there was many balance issues really, because like Heresy, it's pretty much the same stuff versus the same stuff.
Well, and also and Specialist Games Division are actually good at their job.
Yeah, I think Marines definitely have the easiest time of it, as you'd expect, given that the Solar Auxilia are they're limited by distance to their HQ units, which dictates what orders you can give to their units, their detachments. And Mechanicum, to a certain extent, are similar with their Cortex controller rule. So they have Cortex controller, and then they'll have like 2 orders in brackets afterwards, and those are the orders that you're limited to giving that particular detachment of automata based on its type, unless you put like a Magos or an Adept or something else with a Cortex controller nearby, and then you can give it any order you like as they kind of tell it what to do.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
For your Wi-Fi. But a lot of the time, the orders that the automata can take are pretty much in tune with what you'd expect them to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think the main one that stuck out for me was the Vorax, and I think their 2 orders were just march and charge. So that's basically a run move and a charge move, which stops them from firing their 2 weapons each, which kind of sucks because, they've got like rotor cannons and lightning guns each, and they're good for mowing down infantry. But unless you've got someone nearby that says, stop, it's hammer time, fire, they're kind of just beelining for the nearest thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some stuff that made sense. Like when you give detachments a march order, it doubles their move, which, as you expect from some GW stuff, doubles their move order, their move stat. But if they were infantry, they get triple movement, which kind of felt a little bit weird because now you've got infantry outpacing their own transports.
Yes, but that's one of the things that they fixed in the FAQ.
In some cases, yeah. And in this fact, that's one of the main things that they changed to try and push people to bring more transports to keep their infantry safe.
Yeah.
Because I think even power armored Marines get a save of 5 up out in the open, and so any kind of infantry is just prone to getting deleted off the table if they loiter outside too much and they're not in a structure or in a transport, as you kind of expect.
As it should be, yeah, in that scale of war.
Exactly, and then the really really big guns get toted out. It's like, allow me to blow away your chaffy infantry. They're sullying my battlefield. But no, there was a bunch of fixes. Like the Mechanicum stuff got its first FAQ, which was kind of cool.
Well, I think this is the first FAQ overall, isn't it, for Legion Imperialis?
A second.
Oh, it's the second one, right? Okay.
But yeah, but there was quite minor stuff, if I remember rightly, in the previous one. Not a lot at all. But in this one, just to go over a bunch of points quick, because I summarised them in our group chat for everyone, is that the Thalax, which are like the shooty little jumpy cyborgs that the mech have, they got their plasma fusel swapped out for a multi-melter, which makes sense because on the base you have two with lightning guns and one with a multi-melter, like the actual models. And then they went, no, it's a plasma fusel when the book first came out, and I was like, it fucking isn't. It's a multi-melter. But we'll go with that. So they lost their plasma fusel and they gained a multi-melter, which is actually very cool because lightning guns are good versus infantry. Multi-melters obviously not so much, and they're there for anti-tank. So now they're much more flexible with what they can engage. When every single base has got a multi-melter, that's at least 4 shots off the top of my head for dropping tanks. But then you get more than 4 tanks usually in a squadron these days for epic. So but it's there, especially if they're garrisoned in a structure and you can fire multi-melters out of it. That's not something to be sniffed at. The plasma fusels that they lost got given to Myrmidon Secutors instead, which are kind of like the assaulty, choppy, honky tech priests from
I'm
Heresy.
still hoping that we see those in plastic for the Heresy at some point.
I reckon we will, because I'm certain that Games Workshop are porting a lot of the Heresy stuff to plastic to try and head off people getting their stuff from China instead.
Yes.
And plus, I think Forge World's probably going to have its hands busy with all the old world stuff.
One would think so, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So they're still going to be a thing and doing their thing. So that's cool.
I'd expect to see nearly everything from the Heresy shift over to plastic, to be honest, including super heavies and all that kind of stuff. Anything up to Titan size. Plastic Titans, I don't think we'll see, but glaives and falchions and everything, yeah, for sure.
We should do, because they're pretty much the same size as a Baneblade, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
completely different hull, but yeah, same size as a Baneblade.
Yep. And
that's like what, 115 quid now, I think. So yeah.
Maybe. So that'd be quite a bargain compared to what they are at Forge World. So the choppy Secutors got the plasma fusel that the Thalax lost. So they've actually got Maxima bolters and an extra weapon system now. So their firepower actually doubled for no points cost, which is cool. Myrmidon Destructors got their weapons clarified in the... Previously in their unit, it kind of said you can take their Volkites or conversion beamers. So me being me, I was like, well, I'm going to pair them up on the bases so that each base has got the same weapons. So these guys have got 2 beamers, these guys have got 2 Volkite, and that way it's clear as to who's got what, seeing as you have to choose per base. And then they went, no, they have both. And I was like, you goddamn sons of bitches. Now I've got to try and snap these little bastards off my base and mix them back up again.
I wouldn't bother doing that. Just say they've got both. It's fine.
Yeah, so that was cool. So they basically got their firepower doubled as well, because instead of having either or weapon per base, you get both. So, I mean, true, they're used for very different things, like conversion beamers are not great against infantry, and I think it's one of the few weapons in the game that's actually got a minimum range that you can't fire within. But their Volkites are quite useful against infantry, but again, not vehicles. So it gave them a bit more flexibility like it did the Thalax for no extra cost. Cool. But unsurprisingly, Trioros conveyors lost the large transport rule. So now, oddly enough, you can't fit hulking great automata inside the damn things and transport them around.
Yeah, that seems like more of an oversight than anything else.
Yeah, that struck me as very strange and amusing, like when that first got released. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, well, this Thanatar, better get the tech priest, because we're going to have to unmeccano it, put it back in the transporting bits, transport it somewhere, and then get it back out again. And that dude better still be alive to put it back together again. But yeah, so there's none of that now, which is slightly ironic, given that they went, we expect people to use more transports, but not for your automata. Gutted. which is kind of a strange, ironic thing to put into the same FAQ bundle. So the automata, which could really do with transports, can't use them anymore. The Thalax and Ursarax cyborgs have got jump and jetpacks, so they're kind of nifty enough as it is. And then the only infantry that you can put in the things are like tech priests and the crappy tech thrall cyborg zombies, which are so bad they've got a close assault factor of -1.
Yeah, well, they're cannon fodder, aren't they? So that makes sense.
They really are chaff with token guns. So yeah, that was a bit of a weird one, but logical. So can't really complain about that. Made me laugh a bit. So on to like the general fact, infantry lost their triple move when marching. So no more outpacing their transports by a couple of inches, which was always a little bit weird.
Yeah, it makes sense, that one.
Yeah, I mean, with Marines, you could go, post-human dudes in power armor, they might be able to sprint faster than a heavy APC. And then you look at the Solar Auxiliary and you're kind of like,
Not so much.
not so much. A whole bunch of other stuff got clarified with like immobile units with like a dash for a movement stat, so they can't like disembark from stuff or embark and things and stuff like that, which makes me a little bit sad for tarantulas because you have to deploy them inside your deployment zone when you first deploy.
Yeah.
And then they're pretty much stuck for the rest of the game. So a combination of not being able to put them in transports and having to deploy them in your own zone kind of limits how useful they are when you start moving up the field.
Okay.
But, it is what it is. And it still makes me sad that tarantulas can't actually move because back in the day when they had their tech marine dude operator, they were anti-grav and they could really slowly move around with their two heavy weapons, which is, I guess, why they were called a tarantula.
Yes.
And not some other thing that doesn't move without legs.
Not a tortoise.
Yeah. Or like a flycatcher or whatever.
Yeah.
So and the rest of it was basically just.
I mean, to be fair, tarantulas can be very, very fast. I know this from experience.
Yeah, I've seen yours, and so I found that a bit of an eyebrow raiser. Change the damn name; they don't move. Yeah, and the rest of it was basically like clarifications, like infantry can garrison structures if hostile models are within 1 inch, but they can't if hostiles are in base-to-base contact with it. And lots of other just.
So it sounds like a tidy up. It doesn't sound like anything was broken because, as we say, Specialist Games Division do good work, and it doesn't need fixing. It just needs a little bit of tuning up. Yeah,
I think the only other major change was to do with what was it called? I think it's Master Tactician that Space Marine Legion Command HQs have, which gives friendly Marines from their formation, once they activate within a certain range of that HQ base, you can change their order from the one that they were given at the start of the round, which made it really, really useful because if situation has gotten out of hand and you need to have people doing different things, you can just change them on the fly based on the order that you activate them in.
Okay.
But that got heavily nerfed down to just one detachment can have its order changed within range of HQ rather than just dishing them out willy-nilly.
Which seems fair enough. Obviously they've got feedback and they're operating on that feedback. So I trust those guys to make good changes for the health of the game. Whereas I said in the video earlier, I don't necessarily trust the main Warhammer studio to make changes that are not factoring in things like sales numbers and things like that. When it comes to Legion Imperialis and the Specialist Games Division, I just get the feeling that the health of the game is slightly more important to those guys because, as I've said many, many times, that's where all the old school, the old group, the old school, as it were,
reliable,
are lurking now. And, not to say that the Warhammer main studios don't have any talent or anything like that, but they are very much focused on different things. Yep. And that thing mainly seems to be get as much money as possible.
Spec games seems to be a lot more consistent.
I think so. Yes, that's
with both the quality of tools and like the amount of updates that they need, i.e., nowhere near as much.
Yeah, it doesn't constantly need fixing because it's not broken in the first place. Which it's really cool. And I always look forward to whatever the next thing is from Specialist Games.
Yeah,
Like,
it's always interesting.
if it's Battlefleet Gothic in 6 months or whatever, I'll be like, yes, please, yes, give me now. Because I'm painting up a Gothic fleet at the moment, and it's an awesome game. And playing it with Carl a couple of months ago just reminded me of what an awesome game it was. Just such a simple, awesome, brilliant game. I know you've never played it, and you should be ashamed of that. You really should.
No, I'm all right.
It's brilliant.
But, I'm not ashamed, but I would like to remedy that at some point.
Yeah, you should do, man. We'll get together and have a game. It'll be a good laugh. It's not even a particularly difficult game to play in the slightest. It's got a real simplicity to it. Well, I didn't give you any homework for this, but our main subject today is going to be metal, which is something we both love. And
music.
Obviously, back in the day, we'll talk about the music. I'm not talking about British steel or any of that bollocks.
Okay.
Back in the day, Warhammer
Record label.
always, they had their own record label. They always had a very big link with heavy metal, from the name of the painting studio through to Bolt Thrower, having albums, named after the Warhammer. You had Wraith, you had Sabbath, had some Warhammer connections, and you had D-Rock.
D-Rock, yeah.
All these bands,
They all started on the long gone Warhammer Records label, and they did flexi discs.
They did a flexi disc, on the front of White Dwarf, and at the end of the day, a lot of those album covers were just Warhammer come to life, or you could say the other way around. These models are album covers come to life, not so much these days, but certainly back in the day, in the craziness, like that second edition Codex Sister of Battle cover could easily have been a album cover for something, easily. And there's always been this pedigree, always.
I feel we should point out for anyone that was born in the last 20 years, a flexi disc is a really thin plastic sheet / disc, which is doubled up as a vinyl. Record for a record player.
It's like a hybrid between CD and vinyl. It's very odd.
Yeah. They were stamped on really thin plastic, so they could kind of take some bending, given that they were on a magazine, but they were sturdy enough to retain the grooves for sticking on a record player and playing as music.
I mean, they didn't last as a format at all. They were more of a gimmick.
A very niche format.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of a bit like Laserdisc back in the day. Can you imagine, trying to explain to somebody Laserdisc now? Be like, it's a giant CD.
Yeah, vinyl size CD
that played films. Like, what?
Films.
Crazy fools.
Yes, and a very early ancestor of DVDs. Even though I think Laserdisc went away when VHS came out.
Yes,
and then came back in a smaller.
Well, yeah, it came back. It came back as a sort of like they'd like a premium special edition type run of films and stuff. So you get the premium special edition version of it on Laserdisc, and some of those are still highly coveted to this day. I think there was a Blade Runner one that's still been meant to be one of the best.
Damn.
And some of that, some of that kind of stuff, because apparently the copy rate and transfer rate was just so high. I don't know. I never had a Laserdisc. Strangely enough.
No, I've never even seen one.
I've seen them. They're like a very, very large, double-sided CD.
Nice. I mean,
there's the only way I can really describe it. It's just huge.
We're assuming at this point that anyone listening knows what a CD is, and they've not just been completely digified.
I would hope so. Like even children know what CDs are. I mean, no, I'm not expecting you to have had like a Sony Walkman, CD player where you have it in the car and it skips every 3 seconds and you go over a speed bump or something like that. But people mustn't still know what CDs. Please don't tell me we're in a generation where people don't know what CDs are. I'll cry.
Just to be slightly more archaic, I'm literally holding in my hand right now a transparent purple mini disc.
Oh, you have? I was going to say I had mini disc. I got massively into mini disc. I had like 20 mini discs because I was like, oh my God, I can put like 6 albums onto one disc. This is amazing. And then literally 3-4 years later, MP3 came out and just murdered it.
Just wrecks everything.
Murdered it. Anyway, Warhammer and metal music have had a long pairing and relationship, but not so much these days. I remember back in the day when I worked in Games Workshop, you'd get like metal mixtapes and we'd play our own metal CDs. Blue Water Games Workshop was always rocking to either Paradise Lost 1 Second or And Justice for All or Chaos AD. Any of those albums we'd always have on because we had a CD player. And if you didn't have a CD player, you get mixtapes, which always used to have metal and rock on them. And these days you're more likely to walk in, it's playing fucking George Ezra or it's just some bollocks like that. So what I thought we'd do, be a bit of a laugh, is we'd go through the 40k factions and we would choose a band, if not a song, for each faction.
You know what? Funny you to say that. Back when I used to post on Warseer, I'm not even sure if that forum's still around.
I have no idea if Warseer is still going.
Actually, it might have been Bolter and Chainsword.
That is still going.
I actually did a thread pairing up bands to legions for the heresy.
Okay. That'll be one we'll visit in future, actually, because that'd be a really cool idea. But for now, we'll keep it to 40k factions.
All right.
And we will be going through all of them. So we'll just see what we can get. So, Black Templars. Now, you could cheat here because Sabaton have got a new song coming called Templar coming out next week. But no. Black Templars. Crusading. Hate witches. Bit pious.
Except? Are they like Christian metal? Which is just a weird thing.
Except aren't Christian metal, are they? You thinking of Striker, maybe?
Maybe. I heard Accept described as that once, but I've never been a fan. I'm not.
Accept Christian, they're Teutonic. Sort of, I wouldn't call them thrash, but like German hard rock, I would guess. I don't know if I call them Christian.
Maybe.
I mean, the Black Templars, I guess you'd want something kind of, sort of Gregorian in the background. You want some chanting, maybe something like Batuska or something like that.
Maybe.
Or hell, even fucking Typo Negative, that kind of deep, sonorous kind of voice you would want, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Solstice. I was like, well, maybe Solstice, even though they sound very English. And then you went deep voice, and I'm like...
I mean, to be fair, you don't get much more English than the Crusades.
No. So maybe Solstice might be a good one then.
We could chuck Solstice on there, yeah, why not? I mean, guys, as always, if you have any better ideas, please do let us know. Because I haven't let Matt do any homework for this, and we are just going off the cuff on this one. So, yeah, Solstice... If people remember Solstice, I'm not sure if they will. A little bit obscure for some people.
It's still a great album.
But yeah, I think they could fit Black Templars. Seeing as we're taking it to this stretch where we're doing everything, why not? Right. Blood Angels. Vampires.
Oh.
It's got to be either Moonspell or Powerwolf, really, hasn't it?
I'm not really. I haven't heard of much Powerwolf.
Powerwolf are basically Powerwolf are a very strange band. They're very cheesy. Yeah. They're like a German Iron Maiden, but they sing about religious werewolves that drink blood.
Close.
Bit weird. Like a cross between Space Wolves and Blood Angels. I mean, yeah, Moonspell, Vampiria. Could work quite well. There's quite a lot of keys and organ work in that as well. So I think it's got to be in it. It's got to be.
The whole Irreligious album is amazing. Like just Blood Angel, it's fine.
Irreligious would work. Yeah, that's a lock. I think I like that one. As I say, this is just for a laugh, just for a bit of fun. Dark Angels. Bit dodgy.
Typo.
Dress wearing. Typo actually would not be a bad fit for the Dark Angels.
And green.
Green, yeah. You've got. You know what? I think we have to go with that. I think Typo. Yeah. I think it's got to work. I mean, you've got the you say the black and the green's already there, and there's quite a lot of Typo Negative songs where if you take out the tongue-in-cheek aspect of them, they could fit that kind of, especially with the very sort of deep guitar and bass work and everything.
Yep.
And they're quite hymnal and dirgy. And I could see that fitting the Unforgiven. So we'll go with Typo for the Dark Angels, yeah? And again, guys, if you've got any better ideas, because I've sprung this on Matt, then yeah, you let us know. Death Watch, Alien Killers, using all sorts of Xenos tech.
Alien weaponry?
Nah, they're too tribal.
Yeah.
Too tribal. I mean, I get the reference, the link, absolutely. But yeah, they're too tribal for it.
They'd be Carcharodons.
Yeah, oh yeah, that would fit. Yeah, with the Maori
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, the tribal tattooing and everything. Yeah, for Death Watch, I think you want something like there's a few death metal bands out there that are really kind of that kind of thing. There was a band called I think it's the Itchman Method, like a
Right.
kind of like a really crossover black death metal band. It's like a lot of harsh, grating music. I think they'd fit quite well for Death Watch, to be honest. Yeah, check them out. They're not an easy listen. I'm pretty sure they were called the Itchman Method. So Itchman as in the Itchman Wasp. And then Method, I'm pretty sure. You know, I'm going to have to Google them really quickly. The Itch. Oh, how the fuck did you say Itchman one? My God.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Go back. Go back.
There they are. So obviously I can't play any because we'll probably get soundtracked. But yeah, they're like a sort of really harsh death metal band. Oh, the band's actually called Axis of Perdition. It's the album that's called The Itchman Method. And yeah, they were pretty good. So I think they probably work for those guys. If I remember correctly, one of their songs had something to do with Megatron. Yeah, I think so. Don't know. It's been a while. Been a long time since I listened to them. So yeah, that's Death Watch, and I like Death Watch. Death Watch are cool. Next up for the Space Marines, we've got the Grey Knights. So
Ooh.
anti-sour. I mean, I would.
Samael?
Yeah, Samael's not bad. I'm trying to think if there's anybody that Samael might fit better, but
Yeah.
I mean, Samael would have been Dark Angels if it wasn't Type O, you know?
Yeah,
obviously.
I mean, Samael, they started off as a little bit occulty.
Yes.
But kind of like from Passage onward, they went a little bit more just weird and esoteric, which I think fits more with these guys.
Yeah. I can't. I mean, I was going to say something like Metal Saint or something like that.
Armored Saint.
Armour Saint, sorry, the John Bush band. But yeah, I think Samael's not a bad shout. Though I kind of feel like we should have used that for the Dark Angels now. Right, Imperial Fists, bright yellow, siege experts.
Those guys I probably would go Sabaton.
Actually, you know what? Kind of almost does need to be, doesn't it?
It does.
It does almost
they
need to
get
be
around
Sabaton
top.
with that one.
And they're very stoic.
Yeah, and they've done like the song albums like The Last Stand and things like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's good. Sabaton, it's a lock.
Good. I'm doing all right.
We're doing all right, aren't we? Iron Hands. So where do we go with the Iron Hands? Because obviously a little bit.
No. Ministry are probably a bit too heavy, but you got to get something done.
Yeah, Ministry's fairly not bad. Not a bad shout. I mean,
I thought they might be a bit too fast.
yeah. Ministry's not a bad shout. I was thinking maybe something like Fear Factory, but then Fear Factory was also one of my locks for Necrons. So we need something else for Necrons.
We could class Nine Inch Nails as metal.
Oh, you know what? 9 Inch Nails would fit quite nicely. And I do class 9 Inch Nails as industrial metal. I think 9 Inch Nails works quite well for the Iron Hands. Good shout. Especially seeing as I know you're not much of a fan.
No.
I do like them a lot. Right, Raven Guard, we need gloomy as fuck. And I'm not doing My Chemical Romance because A, they're not metal, and also B, fuck Shrike. And it's emo bullshit. So we need I'm My Dying Bride. Or Paradise Lost, one of the two.
Go with Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost for these guys.
To go with Deliverance Lost.
Yeah, good connection. So Paradise Lost for the Raven Guard, and if you haven't checked out Paradise Lost, you should do because they're great.
Salamanders.
About time they did a new fucking album now, wasn't it? Obsidian like 2021 or something.
I think it was more recent than that, but it is getting to that point.
Yeah, about time they did some kills. Right, Salamanders, fire, lots of fire.
Yeah.
Fire,
so much.
ash, brimstone. Who are we thinking? Who loses those pyro? Ramstein? Actually, Ramstein kind of fits because you've got the pragmatic sort of nature of the salamanders and.
That's the sneezing done. I had to mute my mic for a mo.
I'm thinking Ramstein with all their pyro, unless you've got something better.
No, Rammstein sort of fits. Some of their stuff is good and
You got songs like Feuerfrei and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah, let's go Ramstein. That's good. So we've got so many of these to do because I've decided to do all the Space Marines because I'm an idiot. Right, Space Puppies.
I'm on, I'm off. Next.
Excellent work. Excellent work. Right. Ultramarines.
Jeez.
Roman metal.
We'll just humour them and go with Rotting Christ. If they're Greek. Close enough.
You know, I fucking love Rotten Christ. I'm trying to think of another band that Rotten Christ would fit better for.
And you like Ultramarines.
And apart from Chaos, no. Yeah, that's good. Yes, do it for the Ultramarines. Yeah, why not?
Seeing as there's no Minotaurs on the list.
No Minotaurs. White Scars, Mongolian, Speed Metal. It's got to be.
Who?
Oh, it's the Who, isn't it? Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah,
it's got to be the Who. Yeah.
That's the new band, not the old 70s British.
Yeah. No. Not the Who. The
HU.
Who.
Wolf Totem was the one that they did that got pretty big, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Like it. Excellent. That's the Space Marines all done. This is easy.
Isn't it?
Sisters of Battle. No, not Baby Metal. Fuck off.
I think Consolidated may be a little bit too niche, from what I remember of them.
It's got to be female fronted, hasn't it? It's got to be.
You're going to say Arch Enemy, innit?
I'm kind of thinking they kind of fit.
As much as I don't like them, but yeah.
I'm kind of thinking they fit. I'm going like, yeah, I think I've got a.
Nightwish are too nice.
Yeah, I mean, I was going for like the Night Wishes and the Epicas and all that kind of stuff, and I was just like,
hey, you know, it could go with Ad Astraea, but it's a little bit self-indulgent.
it's a tiny bit niche.
Can't put my old band in there. No one will know what it
Tiny
sounds
bit
like.
niche.
We're on Spotify though, you know.
Yeah, check them out. It's worth a listen. I'll definitely say that. Good shit.
Hey, your checks in the post.
Yeah.
ADASTREIA.
Yes, indeed.
If anyone cares.
Yeah, give them a listen. For sure.
Who else? What is that band?
What about Lacuna Coil?
Band? Not aggressive enough.
I don't know. If you've maybe not heard their new stuff. Are we going Arch Enemy then? Has she got something better?
So, yeah, Arch Enemy, or what's that? What's the band with the female vocalist that does a proper good growl? It's not Ginger.
Oh, good, because I hate Ginger.
Oh, crap. Is it Send in the Archers? No.
You're just making up names now.
No, I'm not, unfortunately. Most modern bands have silly names. Unleash the Archers, that's it.
Unleash the Archers. Okay. Not heard
Yeah,
of.
I think it's them that I'm thinking of. Canadian power metal.
Okay. Couldn't say. Well, I'm going to go with Arch Enemy because otherwise I'm going to be here forever.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Right. Adeptus Custodes. Golden Banana. Big boys. It's got to be big stomping metal, isn't it? You want something absolutely epic and massive and like literally something like Metallica or something like that.
Just something very much centre of the road like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Metallica might be a good pick there, to be fair. You know, any of those kind of big thrash bands, Metallica, Megadeth, anything like that. Yeah, I think Metallica kind of works for these guys. Like the larger than life, big, and you know, Metallica have been shit for absolutely fucking years now. But those first four albums, you cannot go wrong with.
Yeah, or 5 even.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Black Album is a very good album. It's so commercial. I'm kind of sick of it, but there are great songs on it. So yeah, first 5 albums, you definitely can't go wrong. And then, yeah, honestly, Reload and Load make a good album between them. It's just unfortunately made it into 2 separate albums with loads of filler. So yeah, we'll go with Metallica for Custodes to get them out of the way. Here we go, the Adeptus Mechanicus. Now, this might have been the one that I was thinking for Fear Factory, to be honest.
That works. Or Ministry. Ministry might work here.
Yeah, we'll go with Ministry, because then we can say Fear Factory for the Necrons, which, with its links to Terminator 2 and all that kind of stuff that they like to do, I think definitely fits the Necrons more. So cool. Even with your stupid, silly new Adeptus Mechanicus, we will go with...
the long boy.
Yeah, oh, God, yeah, stilty boy. We'll go with Ministry. Excellent. Next up would be the Astra Militarum. Now, Sabaton have already gone.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's got to be bolt throw, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, those ones loyal.
I mean, like, bolt throw could be World Eaters, I suppose, with World Eater, the song. But we can probably think of somebody more like brutally death metal, gore metal for World Eaters, I think.
Cannibal Corpse. Yeah,
literally like Cannibal Corpse, Gorgasm, any of those kind of gore metal bands, Debauchery, Exhumed, any of that lot, Autopsy. I think Bolt Thrower, we have to give it to the Imperial Guard. Those want loyal, that kind of stuff.
Yep. Especially that with the Krieg, given that it's a First World War concept album.
Exactly, yeah. So, Bolt Thrower for the Guard. Imperial Agents, Inquisition, Sneaky Boys. There is a band called Inquisition, but from what I remember, they're actually a bunch of horrible racists. So maybe not them. Maybe not them. I might be thinking of the wrong band. There might be a band called Inquisitor that instead, because obviously, every single band name is a band name. So I don't know if you can think of anybody else.
I'm not sure. Imperial Agents is quite a wide net.
It is a huge net, isn't it? Yeah, because obviously you've got Inquisitors, you've got, we haven't all this bollocks, we've done all this, but you've got the Breachers, you've got the Adeptus Arsenal. How about Anthrax, because they did I Am the Law.
Yeah, got it.
And that was based on Judge Dredd, and the Arbites are based on Judge Dredd.
Yeah, got it. I'll allow it.
We'll go with Anthrax.
I don't think we'll get anything else for them, actually. They're just too much of a diverse group.
Yeah. We'll go with Anthrax. And Imperial Knights, even bigger stompy boys. Huge Titanic metal.
There's probably people like watching this just shouting at their screens right now.
I hope so. Type in some comments, because obviously we're crap at this, because I didn't give us any time to do any homework. Knights. I mean, there are bands with Knight in the name, but
yeah. I mean, again, Sabaton cast a really wide net. I mean, they would have.
Yeah, I mean, Sabaton fits just nearly everything, doesn't it? Basically.
Just as a wild straw glad, just Dark Tranquility came into my head, and I'm not sure why.
Man, not for Knights, no. Not that kind of a band. I would say something like Dismember.
You reckon?
If not only because I'm pretty sure one of their album covers has got something very much like a knight on the front of it. And I can't remember which one it is. There we go, back to Google. Dismember band. There it is. Massive Killing Capacity.
I remember that. Also, I remember seeing that on the T-shirt many, many years ago and going, "Oh, that looks cool. I wonder who they are."
Pretty much exactly what happens with most of my metal. Like, oh,
Old Man's Child has an album cover very similar to that, if I remember right.
Old Man's Child, what, the Pagan Prosperity type stuff?
I think so. I think they were quite grotty black metal with like a tinge of death.
Massive Killing Capacity on Frozen Fields. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking this kind of fits for me.
Yeah, got him.
Why don't you let me drag this across? Because, oh, for fuck's sake. It's so hard. It's like, am I on OBS or am I actually on the screen? Because you see, this is kind of night-like and Titan-like. I'm going, yeah, let's go for Dismember, because otherwise we are going to be here all night.
Yep.
Lol. On to Chaos. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, how can they still have case demons there when they don't technically exist?
The bastards.
Sons of
I love that
bitches.
I love that army. One of the most interesting armies in the
Yeah,
entire.
and it's gone. Right, well, there is a band called Bellacore, but that's not.
Yeah, there is.
It's not. It's not. Chaos Demons. What role do we reckon?
Akakoka.
Oh, nice. I like
I love
it.
it.
I like it. Yeah, Akakoka. Good call. Good call. Check them out if you haven't. Great band. Right, that's them out of the way. Numbers of Chaos. Chaos Knights. Oh, for fuck's sake. This probably should have been Dismember. Fuck
Dick.
me. Fuck it. We're putting all nights together. Dismember.
Fair enough, fine.
Generic Chaos Space Marines. Slayer?
Yeah, go on.
I'm thinking Slayer. I think Slayer fits.
Yeah.
Generic.
Or Hell. Hell are a bit light, but
Yeah, Hell a little bit on the light side. They can be Traitor Guard.
yeah.
So next up is the Death Guard. Pestilence.
Carcass.
Oh man, Carcass or Pestilence. It's got to be Pestilence, hasn't it?
Yeah, go by the name.
Okay, Pestilence. Excellent death metal. If you've not heard them, check them out. Next up, we will use Carcass for sure.
Definitely.
The Emperor's Children.
Excess, you say?
Yeah, excess. Is it bad that I want to say Sodom?
It's a little bit generic of you. That's what everyone thinks of.
Jesus Christ. Oh.
All of the excess. A ridiculously heavy band that's really hard to listen to, and that'll do it. It's really discordant.
And on Afrak?
Go for it. Maybe Godflesh.
Yeah, you want to. Or how about something like Dillinger Escape Plan? Like, you want one of these noise metal bands, don't you?
Yeah.
Something absolutely mental, and as you say, it's very, very difficult to listen to. I mean, Aaron Afrak did do a load of songs about Warhammer 40,000, so it seems fair enough.
Nice. Oh, yeah, given that I know Dan that's in that band now, lives near me.
There you go. So, Aaron Afrak for the Emperor's Children, you are welcome.
Charm of Making from Excalibur.
I
I think it's actually based on some sort of Welsh, someone told me.
it's Welsh or some kind of Druidic language, I think.
Thousand Sons. Niall, you say?
Next. Now, again, this should be Bolt Throw. World Eater. But
So good.
it can't be. So, we need somebody else. So you said Cannibal Corpse. I think that's pretty good. I think you could also chuck Exhumed in there. Actually, no. I've got the perfect band.
Go on.
Bloodbath.
Yeah. Done. Done.
Bloodbath. Excellent. Onto the Xenos already. Right. The Eldari, the Eldar. You want something kind of... actually, Dark Tranquility is a good shout.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, Dark Tranquility is not bad. I was thinking like maybe something like a Winter Sun or something like that. You know, something really...
Quite highbrow.
Yeah, kind of. You want something kind of highbrow, a little bit proggy, and kind of. But I think Dark Tranquility just fits the. I think it catches the tragic. Or Opeth.
Okay.
Opeth is another good shout.
I think.
Yeah, Opeth. You want it to be a teeny bit more pretentious than Dark Tranquility do.
Yeah, exactly.
Which that kind of is Michael Ackerfeld. So not that we don't like Opeth, we do like Opeth.
love Opeth.
Yeah, Opeth, absolutely. That's the Eldari right there.
I love early to mid Opeth.
Yeah, I haven't really given the last one. Apparently, the last one in Testament was a really good album, and I've not given it a good listen. But I got put off by Opeth after I think it was Watershed.
Watershed was the one after Coast Referee.
Yeah, I think that's the last one I could listen to.
Yeah.
And then I thought they did that weird little psychedelic prog type thing I didn't care for at all.
No.
But apparently their new one is really good, so I need to give that a good listen sometime. Right. Next up, the Dark Eldar, because we don't do no Drukhari here.
At least your guys.
So it needs to be basically torture metal, doesn't it?
Slipknot.
Oh God, no, they're pop music.
Like early Slipknot, I found really difficult to listen to because it was.
I'll give you their
I love my metal to
first.
be heavy,
Yeah,
heavy and melodic, but Slipknot were just all heavy and no melody at all.
yeah, their first album, to be fair, was pretty grating. And you do want, you want something like that, but you also want like kind of a undercount of sensuality behind it, and that certainly is not Slipknot.
No.
But I don't know if I can necessarily think of anything better than Slipknot. I should be able to. Absolutely should be able to. But just trying to think.
Scrolling through my Spotify for inspiration. It's not doing very well.
Again, I would say something like Debauchery, but they're more of a death metal band, and Drukari aren't brutal death metal. They're just not.
Nah.
It's weird because I can think of almost like exactly the kind of band I want them to be, but I just can't think of a band name at the moment.
Might come back to that.
Drukari, yeah, we'll come back to that one. That's fair enough.
Nice.
Jeans to the Colts. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky.
Ghost. I know Ghost are an overly satanic band, but they are so
quite cultish, aren't they? I suppose.
So sneaky, catchy, and likable that it's kind of like
just like Jeans to the Colts. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say like Ghost or Tribulation, and Tribulation are essentially just a kind of a metal Ghost. So yeah, we'll go with that. We'll put both in, Ghost / Tribulation. I'm still not entirely convinced that Ghost are metal.
I am.
And then Votan, Windrose, Diggy Diggy Hole. Next. No, I'm joking.
Fuck's sake.
I'm joking.
I'm a real band.
No, I tell you what, they might not consider them a real band, but when they play on stage, they play in all the costume.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, under those stage lights, how are you not dead?
Yeah, I also like to think that being on stage is not as hot as it used to be because most of them have got to be LED now.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Dolby heat beams.
But the Votan.
Could we go with Valenfire for Drukari?
Valenfire. Bit too much tragedy there, I think.
Kind of fits.
Yeah, kind of. You want something a bit more tortury, a bit more Hellraiser-y.
Okay.
Maybe Mortician.
Okay.
I know they're death metal, but they're also very much about chopping people up.
Gotcha.
And doing horrible things to them. We'll go with Mortician for the... oops, Christ. Smacked my mic arm. Yeah, we'll go with Mortician for the Dark Eldar, because I can't think of anything better. Votan. Back to Votan. Stumpy.
Cool.
Clones.
I kind of want to go with Wardruna for the beards and the kind of the honouring of the ancestors and all that.
Yeah, I get that. Sort of a Wardruna enslaved type, because Wardruna remind me of enslaved, basically. So Wardruna enslaved type thing, yeah. Yeah, a bit of black metal in there. Why not? Let's do it. And then what else we got? We must need the end now. Necron's about Fear Factory. Next. Orcsies. Well, fighting metal, didn't you?
You do. Machine Head is a little bit too structured for orcs, I think.
It's the kind of thing that you want. Yeah, I think you do want a new metal band, don't you? You do want a new metal band here. Maybe something like Korn?
Yeah, I think orcs have issues. Well, they don't. To be fair, they just want to fight.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. So, yeah.
I'm thinking something like Korn, Deftones, around about those kind of level of thing. I think Korn, Deftones definitely started going a bit, which I really liked. I like their proggy stuff, but I think, yeah, maybe Korn. If not Korn, then Limp Bizkit. I can't stand Limp Bizkit. I fucking hate them.
Oh, no,
or actually, maybe even, to be honest, with the Orcs, actually, I think we might need to go back to one of your ones, and that's Slipknot.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think Slipknot works. Yeah,
I was going to say this is endless, but that's a little bit of a niche pick, I think.
that is a little bit niche, that one. Yeah.
They played a Bloodstock. They're legit.
Um,
What's next? Just Tau.
must be nearly finished. Oh, Tau and Tyranids. There you go. So Tau, Japanese, Mad Capsule Markets.
Please no.
Psy. No, neither of those really fit. You want something. I mean, it would be some kind of, because they're obviously anime styled. You would be some kind of J-pop type thing. But I'm sure we can do better than that.
Entirely out of my wheelhouse for that.
Phonic, Taiwanese.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's go.
I don't think it fits in with the tone, but I like them and I like Tau. So yeah.
Fair enough. And yeah, Tyranids. Aliens eat everything. No, not Carcass. We should have put Carcass in there somewhere, but no, not Carcass. Napalm Death should have been in there somewhere as well.
I'd go with Carcass for Tyranids, especially the earlier stuff, where it's all about bodies and things going horribly wrong and people getting eaten and mashed.
Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to think if we can do something better than Carcass.
How dare you? But,
Devourment.
maybe.
Or we could chuck Amputated in there, seeing as Mark did a song called Regenerate the Carnifex. Yeah, I think. Well, there you go. Matt says Carcass. I say Devourment. I mean, they're both death metal bands. Carcass obviously are grindcore, and Devourment are slam death metal. Who did a song called Unleash the... Not an album, maybe, called Unleash the Carnivore? Can't remember, one or two. Right, cool. Well, that's us all covered. I certainly don't want to go through the Old World or anything like that, but I do like your idea for another time for doing the Legions and Heresy. Even though we've just done 6 of them for...
I had a gander at my Bolter and Chainsaw profile, and a lot of stuff that I swear I posted that's not listed there, so I have no idea what's going on with that.
Weird. Or maybe they ran out of server space now to get some old stuff out of the way or something.
Maybe when I upgraded and lost a whole bunch of their old stuff. Unleashed the Carnivore, 2017.
Devourment, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, sounds about right, yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, they also did Butcher of the Week, 188, I think it was called. The new one was Obscene Majesty. I've not done anything for a while now. Good few years since they've released an album. Saw them last year in London, and they absolutely destroyed the venue they were in. It was ridiculous. Cool. So yeah, it's just a bit of fun before we get anything more serious planned.
What's that mental band from Russia that could potentially be Tyranids? The singer is absolutely terrifying. It'll pop into my head in a little bit, and it'll be too late.
From Russia?
Yeah, they're originally from Russia, but they're in America now. Keep talking about something. I'll randomly pop it up.
Did we get anything from Dark Eldar? I can't remember.
Slaughter to Prevail.
Oh, Slaughter to Prevail. Okay, fair enough.
The name fits. But then you could say that about World Eaters or anything else in 40k.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I mean, to be fair, like things like Corpse Grinder, which is obviously Cannibal Corpse's singer, have actually been used. There's been a lot of metal stuff that's been used in
Warhammer,
in Warhammer all throughout the years. When I wrote the Fluff, the short story for Mythos for Warcraft Studios, I had a mission to cram as many Boltfire song titles as I could in there. I think I managed 15. So if you have a copy of that rule book, you can read that story, which I think is called A Different Kind of Horror, and you'll find 15 different, Boltfire song titles in there. So things like For Victory and No Guts, No Glory, all that kind of stuff. Cenotaph, all those would be in there. And then when Warcradle did their Dystopian Wars rulebook, which I wasn't involved with, but each of the segments or the sections in the rulebook is named after a different Sabaton album. or Sabaton song, which
Very
is
good.
quite cool. So yeah, I mean, there's always been this long link between metal and this kind of geeky, be it Dungeons and Dragons is always, you know, metal, like Dio, all that kind of stuff. And then,
Straight
you know,
away.
Man of War,
away.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's always had this intrinsic link. And as Warhammer has got more mainstream and more mainstream, it's edged away from that a little bit. So it's been nice to redress the balance today. As I said, I'm sure you guys listening have got loads of better ideas. So yeah, chuck them all down in the comments. We'd love to hear them.
Holy Diver, that's what I was thinking of. That's why I was laughing. As soon as you said fantasy and you were like, Dio, I was like, oh God, the video for fucking Holy Diver.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Rainbow in the Dark. I mean, all that kind of stuff. I mean, they did just do the sword and sorcery, as I said, Man of War, Boltnagar.
Jeez, Baltag off.
They were all geeks. Devin Townsend's a massive geek. The guys in the Mortar are geeks. I mean, the fucking guys in Sabaton are geeks. Ammon and Marth, bunch of massive fucking geeks. They love playing. They used to love playing Half-Life, Team Fortress, and that kind of stuff.
They named their band after Mount Doom.
They named the name after Mount Doom from Lord of the Rings, exactly. The Elvish for it. So, you know, I mean, it is a thing. Like the summoning is basically Lord of the Rings style metal.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean, to be fair, like with Mortis, you've got a whole genre of dark dungeon music which fits for fantasy and all sorts.
Anything Goblin, yeah. It's just like, you know, there you go. Playing Hero Quest, chuck Mortis on. And then there's loads of these bands. I mean, like Glory Hammer are basically doing the same kind of nerdy thing. And there's you know, they've always gone hand in hand. And as I say, Warhammer's just kind of lost that a little bit. And it was nice to bring a bit of it back today. But we are going to get stuck into second edition. I don't know if it'll be next week yet. But if not, it'll be soon. We'll take a dive into the second edition rulebook. And then we'll look at Dark Millennium. And then we'll be going through the codexes. Because back then there wasn't as many factions as there is now, and it won't take as long. But yeah, until next time, that was a good laugh. And we'll catch you guys soon.
Thanks for bearing with us.
Yeah. Cheers. Bye.